Have you ever stopped and wondered, who is really seeing through these eyes? Who is hearing the voice inside your head? And if there is an observer, who is watching that one? Simple questions, aren't they? Yet they can open a doorway straight into the heart of awareness itself. Welcome back to Son.Mindfulness. This is a place for stories and reflections on meditation and mindfulness. A space where we learn to live awake, to understand ourselves, and to love ourselves more deeply. Life today is filled with noise. We rush from one thing to another, rarely stopping to ask, who am I? Do you ever feel that way? That there is something inside you watching everything yet never appearing itself? We try to understand the mind. We meditate, we read, we listen to talks, but the deeper we look, the harder it is to grasp. It's like holding a mirror in the dark. You only see reflections of yourself. That is what this video will explore with you. Not through theory, but through experience. Through the breath, through each living moment. You'll see something beautiful when the observer is no longer a person. When awakening is no longer an effort to reach, but awareness awakening itself. When life itself becomes meditation. Stay with me until the end of this video, because maybe today you won't just hear a story. You might truly see yourself clearer, lighter, freer. If you cherish these moments of quiet reflection, stay connected. If you seek peace amid a busy world, you're in the right place. Please subscribe to Son.Mindfulness and turn on notifications. Let's keep walking this path together, one mindful breath at a time. I wish you health. I wish you peace in every breath. I wish you happiness and good fortune in all that you do. Now let's go deeper. Let's explore the timeless question, who is the observer inside your mind? The answer may not be in words, but in this very moment of listening. Part 1. Is the observer real or just an illusion of the mind? Have you ever sat quietly alone and wondered, inside this head, who is it that's really seeing? Try this for a moment. Close your eyes, take a deep breath, and ask, right now, who is hearing this breath? The moment you ask, something curious happens. The mind jumps into answer. It starts thinking, it's me. I'm the one hearing. But can you actually see that me? Or did you just hear another thought about yourself? It's like stepping into a dark room, turning on a flashlight and trying to shine it back on its own beam. You never touch the light itself, only what it reveals. And so the search begins. From childhood we were taught there is a separate I, someone living, deciding, responsible for everything. Every story revolves around that I. I'm sad, I remember. I want, I fear. And when we say I, it feels absolutely real. We feel the ache in our chest, the knot in our stomach, the rush of thoughts in our head. How could that not be real? But notice this. Each morning, the you that wakes up is not the same as the you from yesterday. Your emotions shift, your thoughts change. Even your body is new, cells dying, others forming. If the I were permanent, who is it that changes? I once met an old Buddhist devotee who said, every time I look in the mirror, I don't recognize that man. In my mind, I'm still 25, but in the glass, a 70-year-old stares back. So which one is me? A simple question, but it opens the gate to meditation. Modern science says something similar. Neuroscientists tell us that the self we feel is just a model the brain constructs to make sense of the world. The brain needs a virtual center, like the desktop icon on a computer, useful but not real. In truth, there's no little person inside your head pushing buttons and making choices, just countless processes, feelings, memories, reactions, habits, interacting to create the illusion of me. The observer is simply the story the brain tells itself about itself. And here the paradox appears. If I am the one observing body and mind, then who is observing the observer? Picture two mirrors facing each other in a hallway. You stand between them, your reflection repeating endlessly into the distance. Each image is only a copy of a copy. None is the real you. consciousness works the same way. When you look for the real me, you only find layer after layer of thought, and none of them are you. Over 2,600 years ago, the Buddha pointed this out. He said we suffer because we identify completely with what we experience. When the body hurts, we say, I hurt. When sadness comes, we say, I am sad. But pain is just sensation. Sadness is just a passing state. They come and go. Have you ever felt trapped in such emotion? Someone criticizes you, and your mind replays their words all day, like a sad song on repeat. The suffering isn't in the words, it's in the story your mind tells. They hurt me, I was insulted. That belief instantly builds the architecture of suffering. Someone once asked me, if there's no self, who suffers? Who feels joy? I smiled and said, because there's no fixed self, suffering can dissolve. When you fall in waking life, you feel pain. But if you fall in a dream, do you wake up bruised? The dream self still feels and fears. But when you awaken, you see it was only a passing event. No one truly fell. Life works the same way. In this dream of existence, we believe we are the observer, the center, the one in control. But when awakening begins, we realize no one stands behind it all. There is only life living itself. A psychologist once said, we don't have a self. We are a river of processes. The river has no center, yet it flows, carrying leaves, sunlight, reflections. You can see the river, but you cannot point to a single drop and say, that is its essence. Likewise, you can feel your existence, but you can't find a fixed you. For many, this idea feels strange. We want to believe there's a someone steering the ship. We want to believe I am walking toward enlightenment. But that very thought is the last chain in the illusion. When you understand that the observer is only a process, not a soul hidden in the body, it doesn't take value away from life. It liberates you. Because if there's no self to defend, nothing can be offended. If there's no I clinging to happiness, suffering has nowhere to land. The Japanese Zen master once said, no one awakens, awakening simply happens. That's the reverse logic of Buddhism. There is no person who becomes enlightened. There is only enlightenment unfolding as the illusion of the observer dissolves. You don't have to eliminate the self. You only need to see clearly that the self never truly existed the way you imagined. Watch yourself when angry, when loving, when afraid. Everything comes and goes, and the observer never stays the same longer than one breath. And perhaps, in one quiet moment, you'll notice something wondrous. It's not you looking at life. It's life looking at itself, through your eyes. Part 2: The False Awakening, when mindfulness becomes the ego's new mask. There's a stage on the spiritual path that almost everyone passes through. The stage of thinking you've awakened. You know that feeling, don't you? After years of meditation, reading books, and listening to Dharma talks, life begins to look clearer. You can watch your emotions rise, pause before reacting, even smile when someone offends you. And then a little thought sneaks in. Ah, I'm observing my thoughts. I'm awakened. I smile because I've been there too. And in that very moment, the ego puts on a new disguise. It no longer wears anger, desire, or pride. Now it dresses in white, the robe of the one who understands. I once had an old friend named John. He practiced meditation with great seriousness. One day he told me, I don't get angry anymore. I see my emotions like clouds. I am the sky. I asked him gently, who is being the sky, John? He fell silent. That single question made him see. The proud observer he built was still the ego, only subtler, quieter, and harder to see. The ego is clever. When we recognize it in one form, it doesn't die, it transforms. It becomes the knower, the watcher, the one who has risen above. It looks humble on the outside, but inside it still whispers, me. A more refined me, yes, but still the same one claiming ownership of awakening. Imagine a man climbing a mountain. He breathes hard, his body aches, but he finally reaches the summit. Overjoyed, he shouts, I made it. Yet that very shout echoes back from the valley, throws him off balance, and he slips. One moment of self-proclamation and the fall begins. Spiritual life is no different. The moment you think, I see clearly now, you are already stepping away from true seeing, because the seer has just been born again. In much of modern Western Buddhism, this is where the journey stops. Mindfulness courses teach people to observe thoughts, detach from emotions, and realize, I am not my anger, I am the one observing it. That is an important step, yes. But the Buddha's teaching goes one step further, the turning inside out. He asks, if you say, I am observing, then who just said that? That subtle I still lingers like the shadow of a leaf floating on a pond. You might say, I'm simply awareness itself. But ask again, who knows that awareness? Each time you find a knower, you've only touched another layer of thought about yourself. Picture this. You're sitting in a theater, watching a long film. Suddenly you realize you've become lost in the story, and you tell yourself, wait, I'm only the audience. You sit up straighter, detach from emotion. But if you look closer, even that audience is another character. The one starring in a new movie called The Person Who Watches the Movie. You're still dreaming. Only now, it's a dream within a dream. That is false awakening, when the ego wears the mask of enlightenment. Someone once asked me, Teacher, how can I tell real awakening from false awakening? I answered, if there's still an I that wants to maintain it, it's still the ego. The most dangerous stage in meditation isn't when you're suffering. It's when you start feeling better than others. It's subtle. I'm calmer than they are. I've outgrown those lower emotions. Yet even then, the wall of separation remains. The I still sits on its throne, only now it wears prayer beads and a meditation robe. Modern psychology has a name for this: spiritual bypassing, avoiding your emotions behind a spiritual facade. You no longer dare to be angry or sad or vulnerable because you think a spiritual person shouldn't feel that. But what's buried alive never dies. It becomes a hidden ego, gentle on the surface, still fearful within, still craving approval. True awakening isn't hiding from the dark. It's seeing the whole of it without running away. I once met an elderly woman in California, over 70, who had practiced meditation for more than 10 years. One day she cried and told me, Teacher, I thought I had let everything go, but when my daughter doesn't call for a few days, my heart fills with worry. I guess I'm not enlightened after all. I said softly, in that very moment when you saw it, you were truly awake. Real awakening isn't the absence of emotion, it's seeing emotion as it arises, without building a self to resist it. The Buddha once met a monk named Bahiya who believed he was enlightened. The Buddha said only this, in the seen, there is only the seen, in the heard, only the heard. And right then, Bahiya awakened. He saw that there was no one seeing or hearing. When only seeing remains, there is no seer. When only hearing remains, there is no hearer. And in that absence, that quiet, lies true freedom. If you've ever gone deep into meditation, you may have felt this. Everything is happening, yet there's no one experiencing it. There's just breath, just bird song, just light. Then the mind suddenly says, I'm so peaceful. And instantly the peace vanishes, because the I has returned to claim it. It's ironic, isn't it? The harder we try to reach enlightenment, the more the effort rebuilds the very ego we're trying to escape. True awakening doesn't come from striving, it comes from seeing the striving itself. Like chasing your own shadow, it stops only when you stop running. So be gentle, my friend. Don't rush to believe in the awakened self. Smile at it. See it for what it is, another role the mind loves to play. Then look a little deeper. Behind the observer, there is no one left. There is only life, looking at itself endlessly through you. Part 3. Breaking the observer. In the seen, there is only the seen. One morning, I was walking in the garden behind the monastery. The air was still heavy with mist, the sun not yet risen. Sparrows were chirping on dry branches, and suddenly, in that quiet moment, I realized there was no me hearing the birds. There was only bird song appearing, clear and alive in open space. No one behind it, no one listening, no one thinking about it, just hearing, happening by itself. The moment passed quickly, like dew dissolving in sunlight, but it was enough to move an entire lifetime of practice. The Buddha once told a wandering monk named Bahia, who longed deeply for awakening, "In the seen, there is only the seen. In the heard, only the heard. In the sensed, only the sensed. In the cognized, only the cognized." So simple. No philosophy, no ornamented words, just a direct pointer, like an arrow cutting through fog. When in the seen, there is only the seen, suffering ends. It sounds easy, doesn't it? But try it now. Look around the room you're in. Notice the light on the wall. Now ask yourself, who is seeing? You might say, I am. But if you look closer, you only find color, shape, light. And then the thought, I am seeing, appears afterward. You can't find the seer anywhere. There is only seeing, happening. Another example, watching a sunrise. The sun slowly rises, painting the sea gold. The air is so still you almost hold your breath. In that moment, is it really you watching the sunrise? Or is it light touching your eyes, sensation unfolding, awareness happening? If you're subtle, you'll notice there's no border between you and the dawn. Both are part of one movement, light, wind, breath, consciousness. All flowing, with no one in control. Just like the birds earlier, ask, who hears the song? Search all you want, you'll find no one. There's only the song rising and fading, and strangely, when the listener disappears, the sound becomes more vivid than ever. Nothing stands between. No mind judging pleasant or annoying, near or far. Only pure sound, free, alive, the very essence of life itself. We usually believe the world is built of three things: a subject, an action, and an object. The listener, the listening, and the sound. But when you look deeply, only one process is moving. No subject, no object, just experience unfolding. It may sound abstract, but it's actually very simple. You can sense it right now if you stop naming. Look at a flower. Don't say beautiful flower. Just look. No I am looking, no flower being looked at. Only looking, simply happening. In that instant, you step into the non-dual world where the observer and the observed are not two. And paradoxically, everything becomes more real. Not a mystical void, but life in its pure, unfiltered form. Modern neuroscience is beginning to touch this truth. Researchers like Thomas Metzinger say, the self is just a model the brain creates to predict and organize experience. In other words, there's no little controller inside your head. Only billions of neurons interacting each second, a self-organizing symphony without a conductor. And when meditators enter deep stillness, the brain's default mode network, the system that generates the sense of I, quietly shuts down. Consciousness remains, but the feeling of someone here disappears. The self doesn't die, it simply never truly existed. A Zen master once said, the observer is like the wisp of smoke left after a candle goes out. You can see it, but you can't grasp it. Try to hold it, and there's only air. That's the beauty of the Buddha's teaching. It's absolute simplicity. No need to debate, no need for long explanation, just see. In the seen, only the seen. No seer, no thing seen. Just seen, whole and boundless. Try something small. Right now, stop reading for a moment. Sit quietly. Inhale, exhale. Don't label the breath. Don't say I'm breathing. Just let breathing happen. Then listen. Don't say I hear the air conditioner. Just let hearing be. If you really do this, you'll notice the world becomes very still. Not because things vanish, but because the hearer dissolves. The I that constantly steps in to interpret and grasp is gone. What's left is reality itself, whole and undivided. A physicist once said, the universe does not divide into an observer and the observed. It is a single process, looking at itself. The Buddha saw this 26 centuries ago. He didn't use the word non-duality. He simply said, when in the scene there is only the scene, you are not here, not there, not in between. Not here, no self inside. Not there, no world outside to possess. Not in between, no one standing in the middle connecting the two. Only pure experience remains. People sometimes ask me, does that mean I disappear? I smile. No, you don't vanish. You simply stop imagining yourself as the center. When you are no longer the center, the world doesn't shrink. It expands infinitely. Everything becomes alive, intimate. There's no wall between you and others, no divide between subject and object. This is the reverse logic of Buddhism. We don't achieve no self. We realize there was never anyone to achieve it. The story cancels itself out. And when it dissolves, only one thing remains, the living silence of reality. No need to try to be selfless. Just look. Just listen. Just live, without inserting I in the middle. And then, one perfectly ordinary morning, when you hear the birds, when sunlight touches your eyes, when the wind brushes your silver hair, you may realize there is no one hearing, no one seeing, only life quietly looking at itself through you. Part 4. The Turning Point. When there is no practitioner, practice becomes life itself. Someone once asked me, "Teacher, how can I attain liberation?" I smiled gently and said, "No one attains liberation. Liberation simply happens." He looked puzzled. How can something as profound as liberation just happen? But think about it. Everything natural in life happens this way. Flowers bloom, leaves fall, waves rise, wind blows. No one commands them to. They simply are. Practice is the same. It isn't a project to complete, but awareness unfolding naturally within the stream of living. Imagine this. You're holding a hot stone, gripping it tightly because you believe it's a precious gem. Your hand burns, yet you refuse to let go. Then, one moment, you see clearly that it's hurting you. Instantly, your hand releases. Not because you tried to let go, but because seeing clearly made effort unnecessary. That's how liberation arrives. Not through doing, but through seeing so deeply that everything drops away by itself. Practice stops being a journey toward anything. It becomes life itself, unfolding, breathing, learning. Once an elderly woman came to me and said, "Teacher, I've meditated for years, but my heart still feels restless." I asked her, "When you say restless, who is comparing it to peace?" She paused and tears filled her eyes. She saw it. The very thought, "I want peace," was the practitioner sneaking back in. When that one vanished, peace appeared naturally, without cause. It's like learning to swim. At first you flail, afraid to sink. The more you struggle, the heavier you become. Then you realize the water is already holding you. You stop fighting, and the moment you stop trying, you float. Spiritual practice works the same way. Trying to become awakened is swimming against the current of awakening. When you see there's no one to awaken, awakening begins to shine through you, effortlessly. And from this seeing, something soft arises. Compassion. Not as a virtue to cultivate, but as the natural fragrance of clarity. When there's no wall between you and others, everyone's pain becomes a shared tenderness. A dear friend of mine lost his wife after 40 years together. He told me, "It hurts deeply, but when I sit in silence, I see the pain isn't mine. It's the same pain flowing through all hearts that have ever lost someone. And suddenly, I just want to hold them all." That is selfless compassion. No command, no effort. It blooms when we see there are no borders between beings. If there is no me and you, then your sorrow is mine, and mine is yours. Love ceases to be an ideal. It becomes a natural reflex of the open heart. The Buddha once said, "Just as a mother protects her only child with her life, so should one cultivate a boundless heart toward all beings." Not because we should be good, but because when there is no someone to defend, love radiates naturally, like sunlight, touching all without choosing. Here we reach the final turning point. Before practice, mountains are mountains. During practice, mountains are no longer mountains. After awakening, mountains are mountains again, but no one calls them mountains. At first, the world seems divided, self and other, right and wrong, high and low. Then, through practice, everything shatters. Nothing fixed, all boundaries gone. Finally, clarity returns, and everything appears the same as before, yet the mind no longer separates. We still eat, sleep, garden, love, breathe, age, but something fundamental has shifted. There is no one left to possess any of it. I remember once sweeping the courtyard. A young monk asked, "Teacher, what do you think about enlightenment?" I handed him the broom and said, "Do you hear the sound of sweeping?" He nodded. I said, "That's enlightenment, not in the one who sweeps, not in the one who asks, just in the sweeping happening." He stood still for a long time, then bowed. The broom kept moving, the wind kept blowing. No one was practicing, yet all of it was practice. At this point, philosophy fades like morning mist. No more explanations, no more seeking states. Living is just living, breathing is just breathing, loving is just loving. That's the Zen-style ending Western audiences love, paradoxical yet peaceful. No climax, no conclusion, just a quiet human moment that feels like home. I often close my eyes and say softly, there's no need to find the practitioner, no need to search for the method. Just see that life itself is practicing through you. When you realize this, your everyday life, cooking a meal, watering a plant, lifting a morning cup of tea, is already meditation, already dharma, already enlightenment blooming quietly in each breath. Conclusion. Only when no one seeks do we truly find. We've traveled a long road together. From the question, who is the observer, to the quiet realization, there is no one there. Do you remember? When we believed there was a me who was watching, suffering began. When we believed there was a me who was awake, the ego returned. But when we see that there is only seeing itself, everything suddenly grows still, beautifully still. No one ever attains liberation. Liberation simply happens, like a lotus blooming when sunlight and rain are just right. Like a hand releasing a hot stone, not through effort, but through clear seeing. To see that holding on is pain, and letting go is peace. Have you ever felt that moment? When the mind stops trying and life suddenly becomes light as air? That is the turning point. Not found in philosophy, but right in the midst of daily life. When you wash the dishes, when you listen to the rain, when you smile at a stranger. Practice is no longer something you do. It becomes a way of being. There is no longer a practitioner. There is only life, practicing itself through you. I know sometimes you'll still get lost in thought. You'll get angry, sad, or afraid again. But that's not failure. That's the invitation to see another layer more clearly. Every time you notice, I'm reacting, that's awareness shining through. Every time you pause and breathe, that's a step on the path of freedom. You don't have to reach anywhere. Just live awake. Love deeply. See clearly. I want to thank you truly. Thank you for being here, for listening, for breathing through this journey with me. Thank you for taking time to look deeper into your own mind. It's not easy to sit still, to ask, to face the silence, but you did. And that is something precious. Did something in this touch you today? Was there a moment that made you want to stop and smile? If so, please share your story in the comments. I'd love to hear what you found. If this talk brought you any sense of clarity or peace, please subscribe, share, and stay connected with Son.Mindfulness. We'll continue our conversations about the breath, about compassion, and about living peacefully in this ever-changing world. May you always be healthy. May you walk in peace, one step at a time. May goodness find you and those you love. And wherever you are, remember this. You don't need to search for peace elsewhere. Peace is here, in this very breath within you. Thank you for listening. I'll see you again on the next quiet journey of peace.